Welcome back to that 1870s homestead. My name's Rachel, and we are out in the chicken coop today harvesting compost for the garden. I've shared so many videos about why I recommend using your chickens to make your compost for you. Every year I'm able to come out and harvest the bulk of my needs. Gosh, I'm sorry. They're very upset I'm in here right now. What I'm able to provide for myself through this system of deep litter and kitchen scraps and lawn waste coming into the chicken run and letting the chickens compost that. We put in a good layer of wood chips every year in the spring. The clean out from the chicken coop comes in here, and they just turn that into what you can see is just rich, glorious goodness. And, bones, everything comes in here. And I am easily able to supplement my needs for amending my beds. When I say 2 to 3 inches of top dressing as needed, or to make every year when I plant my tomatoes, I make a compost slurry to plant them in, and I swear by that. Now, if I was going to do a full garden, 6-inch top dressing, I have to bring that amount of compost in. But this meets my initial needs. Today we're planting potatoes and planting some grapevines, so I want to harvest some compost for that. And if I have enough harvested, I'm not going to go overboard today. I'll just sprinkle that around where needed. Oh, don't want that. That's a big old uncomposted piece of pumpkin. That pumpkin seed's growing all in my garden.
This piece of fabric is 3 feet wide. There's yellow marks down the center to mark off every foot. We went through and marked every foot this direction, so there's going to be 3 rows of potatoes planted 1 foot apart. Spent a little bit of time in the garage. I made us a little jig with a piece of 3/4 inch plywood with a 4-inch hole and a 6-inch hole. We're not planning on using the 6 today, but I had the tools out and the saw out, so we might as well get it cut. We'll use this down the road. You would think that using plywood with a torch is probably a bad idea, but the amount of time that you spend burning the fabric with a torch is pretty quick, so hopefully it doesn't catch on fire. I don't think it will. I've seen other people do the same thing. Works well. We're gonna lay this out on each little mark.
Not the 6-inch hole.
4-inch hole, not 6. And come through with propane torch. We used this in a couple videos recently, and a lot of you, surprisingly, ask questions like, what is that thing and where do I get one? All it basically is a 1-pound propane torch, propane tank, and a little handle that has a little igniter in it. You can hear it makes a little spark. I bought it at Harbor Freight or something for $10. You can get them on Amazon for $20. Just check reviews if you go on Amazon, because some of the reviews suck, but there are decent ones out there. This
and
is probably
propane tanks you get in the camping supply store.
Yeah, propane tanks you get camping supply, $3 a piece for propane tanks. And if you're feisty, you can even refill them if you have the proper tools to do so.
All right, well, while Todd is finishing burning the holes, I'm just opening my bags of Kennebec potatoes. I buy these every year when I grow potatoes from just Tractor Supply. I do have extra russet potatoes that have started eyeing out on me down in the basement. I may grow some of those, but they're not my favorite for storage. These are by far my favorite for storage in my growing zone. So I'm in southeast Michigan, and they store really well for me in my basement, and they're great for canning. They hold their texture. They hold their texture almost too well in that we feel like we have to cook them a little bit more after canning them to get them soft. Not always, but sometimes. It just depends on what's the intended purpose of the recipe that we're cooking. But I'm getting these all poured out because I have about 25 pounds. I'm not sure how many holes I need, so I'm gonna go drop a potato in each hole, and then Todd will know how many to burn for me. All right, well, I just finished this little section he did. How long is this? Probably
12 feet.
12 feet. And that was about half. So I've got another 12 feet to go of Todd burning holes, and then we'll get to planting them. Okay, that is a lot of potatoes. It goes all the way down what I think we ended up with 24 plus 7 feet. So 31 feet or so of potatoes. And my plan is I've got my compost. Each potato is gonna get a cup of compost and a sprinkle of bone meal. I have my shovel. So this is my first time actually planting in the landscape fabric that we're using this year for the garden. So see how this goes. So I'm already not liking it. This little worm has got himself in a knot. Isn't that funny? You guys see that? He's tied up in a knot. Are you okay, buddy? I'll move him out of the way for now. But yeah, I'm already not liking. So potatoes plant about 4 inches deep, so that's about a spade. I'm just digging a hole. Oh yeah, nice worms. Nice worms. Where'd my potato go? Oh, here you are. So I'm just pushing that soil back away, not pulling it out, so don't get it in my plant my potato. Eyes pointing up as best as I can. Sprinkle the rest of the compost on. I think I'm gonna have to go get some more bone meal. This bone meal has like turned into a little rock on me. Sprinkle in some bone meal. And I didn't mention Kennebec's, geez, birds, hi. Hi. Kennebec's, I mentioned this in a previous video, but not today, is a determinate tomato. So it will not continue to grow up its vine. It will grow at one layer. So I don't have to worry about hilling my potatoes. That's how I can get away with just growing under the weed fabric directly in the soil without having to continue to add soil or hay or straw or whatever you use to hill your potatoes. I decided to go ahead and just, after I dig the soil, bring back some of my leaf mulch to cover. You guys can see that? So I just planted this one for example, just pulling back that leaf mulch after I push it away just to act as a moisture barrier. Not moisture barrier, moisture retention agent. All right, I'm just gonna go plant potatoes. I'm gonna be here for a good long time. So I'll probably see you back as I think of other things to share with you, or see you at the end and let you know how it went. Well, we're making excellent progress. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more holes, and I'm reaching so I don't step on the fabric too much, and then I'll go around and do that final row. So 2 rows I've planted all the way up to here. And I was thinking, what else is there to share you? Because you guys don't want to just sit here and watch me plant a whole bunch of potatoes. In my garden plan right now, and I've changed things up, guys, quite a bit in my garden plan as I've gotten here working, and that is just a case that always happens. What I'm growing pretty much stays the same, except corn's off the list now. I need that space back, and corn I can get cheap from local farmers, and honestly it's one of those things that I typically end up fighting the raccoons or fighting windstorms to keep standing up and alive and get a harvest. So corn's off the list right now. But in front of my potatoes, I am growing bush beans. So a yellow bush bean and a green, like Blue Lake bush bean. So that's what's going to go right here in front of this potato row. Those are great companion plants. And so far this is going okay. It is tearing up my hand. This fabric is really, really hard edges once it's burned and melted. And it is just tearing my knuckles up. I tried to put my glove on, but I'm just one of those people, I cannot work in my garden with gloves on. It's like my hands don't know how to function with them on, so at least not in the soil. I can't feel what I'm doing, and it's just awkward. So I'm gonna tough it out, go in and just lather them up with lotion and everything afterwards. That's the big thing that I wanted to tell you, is just that what am I companion planting with it? And yeah, it's going really great. It's peaceful. I'm out here listening to my praise music and the birds and just in my own thoughts and having a really lovely time. So I'd encourage you to use your time in your garden for what you need to use it for. What's on your mind? What thought processes do you need to work through? Versus just being like a vacant-minded. Use it as whether it's prayer time for you, or maybe you're struggling with something and you're trying to figure out how to work it out. But try not to be totally absent-minded, unless you need that, I should say. If you need just a vacation from it all for a minute in your mind, there's no place like gardening, just listening to nature, zoning it all out, and being at peace and quiet, as much as the birds let it be quiet. They're all happy and it's spring. So we are going to definitely have some compost left over. That's good. So what I plan on doing is just sprinkling it on my raised beds, because that'll be the next thing that I'm planting. Is after the potatoes, the cabbages are coming out this weekend. So today's April 1st. The cabbages will come out on Friday. And then onions should be showing up here soon. So we'll have onions and carrots and lettuces, all kinds of fun things coming up real soon. So excited about that. I think that's it. That's all. I'm going to just finish wrapping this up, but I wanted to keep you guys aligned with and up to date with everything that we're doing here in the garden. And so we did our spacing of our potatoes about a foot apart. And so we have a 3-foot row of all Kennebecs, determinate tomatoes, don't need to hill them. I'm adding in a good cup of compost and bone meal with every planting, and then I'm bringing back the leaves over the holes just to add an extra layer of protection. Maybe keep some of the weeds at bay that want to poke up through those holes, but also keep the moisture retention going on. So that's it. Every now and then I just stop and just look around, relax. It's a beautiful 50-degree day. It's gorgeous. So I'll see you guys on the next video, whatever we're gonna be doing. I've got to start flowers here soon inside. And then we're just back-to-back planting. And this is the busy time of a gardener's year. There's kind of like 2 busy times. It's the getting everything in the ground planting season, and then the harvesting season. And then the in-between is pretty simple. It's like, 10, 15 minutes a day. Go out, check it, water it, pull a random weed, fertilize when you need to do that. And then just watch it grow. So, excuse me. Leave a comment down below. What are you growing in your garden right now? What are you planting? If you grow other varieties of potatoes, let us know and why you chose those varieties. I'm specifically interested in learning about other varieties that can well. I have tried to can russets before and they kind of just fall apart and turn mushy. I like something that holds a form. So these Kennebecs you can like French fries, you can we just can them up in cubes, but if you like sliced them like French fries and canned them, you could just take them out, rinse them off, bread them if you wanted them breaded, and then fry them, or just fry them plain. So all kinds of, I just love them. I think that, they're still like, if you cook them in a soup or a stew after they're canned, they still hold their texture. I can't say enough good things about them. So, probably 1 more hour out here patiently planting my potatoes, and then I'm going to go in and have lunch. So I'll see you guys on the next video. All right, let me try to get a close-up for you guys. So I just pushed the leaves away. Here's my soil. I'm just going to dig my spade in and kind of push back. Pop that potato in. Fill it with compost. Go in some, not that much. Some bone meal. And pull back the leaves. That's all I've been doing.